In this video, I'm going to teach you how to do some blending that more feels a bit like painting. If you want to go from dark to light with the color, and then you want to apply texture on top of it to indicate like wicker or some kind of woven thing. So instead of using the texture here to convey value like we did here, we're going to actually have it convey physical texture, and then the markers themselves will convey the value. So right here I've got in the bottom of my sheet value blend red, blue, green, yellow, and then gray. And so I'm going to do the value blend for red, and you just do them all the same way. The first thing you do is pick the marker. This one's red. I've got a couple different reds in my batch of markers, but I'm going to pick this one. And so I'm going to start by applying lots of red right in the middle. And then what I'm going to do is take a similar color now, or a lighter color. Now I could go red to orange, I could go red to pink, and I've got a couple different pinks as well. But let's say I'm rendering a chair that's red, and there's parts of it that are going to be real bright, and then parts are going to be real dark. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this pink in here as well, and I'm going to bring it in over here. And then I'm going to be, this will scare a lot of beginning designers, but I'm going to put black right here. Lots of black. 3 strokes, 4 strokes of black. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend out the light side, the lighter side first. Now this is a blender marker, and it's basically just clear. Mine doesn't look great, but I'm just applying basically like a clear coat to this. And the blenders just kind of help obviously blend. And I'm using a scumbling technique here too, and it's a lot of mixing. It's really a lot of mixing and patience and practice. And so what I'm trying to do is start to blend out the lines that divide those two colors from each other. And you can see the pink is causing my blender to turn pink. And so all you have to do is kind of find a different piece of paper and just start to scribble out, and the ink will come off. Okay, so now that I've got that, I'm going to just kind of blend out this a little bit more with the pink to just spread that a little bit evenly. You can use your fingers if you want. Okay, now I'm going to come in with a red with my thin marker here. And I'm going to pick up some of that black, and I'm going to blend it out. Now I want a little bit more black. I've done a lot of renderings in my life, and I've found that I really like having darks with my lights. Now I'm kind of scribbling now. I'm going a little bit fast, but you could certainly, you should be using some kind of textural technique here. And now you can see I've switched to scumbling here. And then I'm going to come over here and start to blend that red out. And then I'll come with my blender. Okay. And so now you can see that there's a pretty subtle gradation. I could come and mess with this a little bit more. A subtle gradation from really dark to really light. And then you can see my marker's really dirty. Look at that. So I'm going to just scribble on a piece of vellum or tracing paper to kind of clean it off a little bit. And I'll do the same thing to this marker as well, and the same thing with the red. Now for the value blend for the gray, it's the same process pretty much, except that we're going to go ahead and start with the black. You can see here I'm kind of cleaning off my blender a little bit. And you have to, you have to buy blenders periodically. Okay, so same thing here. Now, what I'm going to do to start is I'm going to color the whole box in Blender. And that way, there's already like a good amount of liquid kind of already on the vellum. And I love to use vellum because it does really blend nicely. So I'm going to just kind of bring in some dark here. And then it's the same process. Just kind of spread. See, instantly it mixes, which is what we want. And then you know me, I like those dark darks on the edge. So I'm gonna come in here like that, really dark. And I like the edges and the corners because it always reminds me of thinking about line weight and thinking about how if this was an object or if this was a body, where would it bend? And so you always want to bring in the real darks at the edges and it'll pop out a little bit better against the background. And I'm just really kind of just tapping here to kind of spread it. And it takes patience, it takes practice. You don't have to get it right the first time. If it takes 2 or 3 tries to get it right before you finish your assignment and submit it, that's okay too. But I have learned with anything with rendering and markers, the longer you take doing it, the better it looks. Okay, and so there's your value change. And so all you need to do is do that for the other colors on here, and then your swatch will be complete. You'll have a bunch of great experience applying textures, and then you'll get some practice blending in values.